Hello students, welcome back to Science World, and if you find this video useful for you, then please like, comment and share with your friends. Also subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to get notification of my upcoming videos. Students, in our last videos we have discussed about the components of blood and the types of blood vessels. In today's video we are going to discuss about the structure and working of human heart. So let's start. What is heart? Heart is a muscular organ made up of muscles, and these muscles are known as cardiac muscles. Okay, so these cardiac muscles, they make up this muscular organ, and it is about the size of our fist. What is the size of our heart? It is about the size of our fist. Fist means what? Fist is the when you close your fingers, no, in Hindi we say mutti. Okay, so this fist, this heart is about the size of our fist. Heart is situated in the chest cavity. Where it is situated? In the chest cavity, with its lower end tilted a bit to the left. The heart is little bit tilted to the left side, and that is why we say that our heart is situated at the left side. Okay, heart acts as a pump. Heart acts as a pumping organ which pumps blood through the blood vessels. Okay, and because of this pumping of heart, these blood vessels carry blood from the heart and it reaches throughout the body parts. Okay, the human heart is consist of 4 chambers. How many chambers? 4 chambers. The upper 2 chambers, they are atria, and the lower 2 chambers are ventricles. Now atria is the plural form of atrium. Okay, so 2 atria and 2 ventricles. The left part of the heart is separated from the right part of the heart by the thick wall. It is called septum. Septum is a thick wall that is present between the right half of the heart and the left half of the heart. And what is the function of this septum? This septum or this wall, it prevents mixing of oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood, because we know that the right side of the heart, it contains deoxygenated blood, and the left side of the heart, it contains oxygenated blood, and that is why, to prevent the mixing of these both the bloods, this septum is there or wall is there. Okay, then what is pericardium? Pericardium is a thin sac like structure, and it surrounds the heart. It surrounds the heart and protects it. It protects and lubricates the heart and keep it in a place within the chest cavity. Okay, so let's see the diagram of heart. This is the diagram of heart. You can see here the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and left ventricle. Now here you can see the walls also. So this is tricuspid wall and this is bicuspid wall, or it is also known as mitral wall. Bicuspid wall is also known as mitral wall. Now what is the function of these valves? These valves prevent the backflow of blood. Suppose this deoxygenated blood, when comes to the right atrium, then it is pushed towards the right ventricle, and as this blood is pushed here, this valve gets closes. This valve gets closes, and then it prevents the backflow of blood into the atrium. Now from here, this blood is pushed into this vein. Okay, or this is the blood vessel. So these valves are there to prevent the backflow of blood. Now you can see different blood vessels are here. Here it is this blue color, you can see the superior vena cava. Then here down you can see the inferior vena cava. Then here pulmonary artery is there, this one, blue one. Then pulmonary veins are there. Okay, then here also you can see the pulmonary vein. So these are all the blood vessels that are connected to the heart, and these all the blood vessels help to carry blood from the heart and to bring blood to the heart. Okay, so this is about the structure of heart. Then how this heart works, or what is the function of this heart, that we will see. Fish, okay, different animals have different number of chambers in their heart. So fish have two chambers, that is one auricle and one ventricle. Atrium is also known as auricle. So one ventricle and one auricle or atrium is present in fish. Amphibians and reptiles have three chambered heart, that is two auricles, means two atria and one ventricle. Birds and mammals have four chambers in their heart, that means two auricles and two ventricles. Okay, now how this blood flows in human body, you can see a flow chart here. This is the flow chart, and here you can see the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and left ventricle. Now how it flows, see, deoxygenated blood is first brought to the right atrium here. From here this blood is pushed to the right ventricle. Then from right ventricle this deoxygenated blood is taken to the lungs. Here in the lungs the exchange of gases takes place, and the blood is rich in oxygen. Then this oxygenated blood from lungs is carried to the left atrium. From left atrium it goes to the left ventricle. From here, from left ventricle, it is taken to the all body parts. Okay, here to the all body parts. Then from all the body parts this deoxygenated blood is again collected and it is taken to the right atrium for next oxygenation. Okay, so this is the flow chart of the circulation of blood in the human body. Now we will see it in the diagram. So here you can see the human heart. I have told you already that the blood which is carried to the heart from all the body parts, for this function there are two main veins, that is superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Okay, so superior vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from the upper body, that is head, neck and the upper limbs. Okay, here it brings blood from the upper body, head, neck and upper limbs. The inferior vena cava, it brings blood from the lower parts of the body to the right atrium, and this blood is collected here in the right atrium. Okay, from here this blood is pushed into right ventricle. As this blood is pushed here, this valve gets closed and this ventricle, the blood is emptied into the pulmonary artery here. So this pulmonary artery, as it is an artery, it should contain oxygen rich blood, but this is the exception for this pulmonary artery and pulmonary veins. Pulmonary artery contains deoxygenated blood and pulmonary vein contains oxygenated blood. So these are the two exceptions for this blood vessels. Okay, pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. Now this deoxygenated blood is taken to the left lung and to the right lung. Okay, left and right lungs. Now the lungs, in lungs what happens, this deoxygenated blood, this exchange of gases takes place in the alveolus, and again this blood which is pure, that means it contains oxygen, it is taken from the lungs by these veins, pulmonary veins, and these pulmonary veins you can see here from the left lung and from the right lung. So these two pulmonary veins and these two pulmonary veins, these bring this oxygenated blood into the left atrium. Okay, here, from here also. So this is oxygenated blood here in the left atrium. Then after coming into the left atrium, this blood is pushed into the left ventricle and then to the aorta. Okay, then this blood is pushed to into the aorta. Aorta is a major artery which is connected to the heart, and from this aorta this aorta again divides and redivides and many arteries are formed, and then this oxygenated blood is supplied to the different body parts through these arteries. Okay, so in this way this blood is collected by the veins and it is distributed throughout the body by the arteries. Okay, I have told you here two exceptions, that is pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. You remember this because it is very important. So this is all about the working of heart, how this heart it works to pump the blood. Now what happens during this whole cycle, means the bringing blood from these veins and again it is distributed by the aorta. So this is one cycle here. Okay, and during this one cycle the blood it comes into the heart two times. How? See, first the deoxygenated blood is coming into the heart, then it is taken to the lungs, and again from lungs it is coming to the heart. That means in a cycle the blood is entering into the heart twice, means two times it is coming, and that's why this type of blood circulation is known as double circulation. Okay, now we will read what I have already explained you just now. It is the theory of that part. Okay, so what happens, deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body enters the right atrium and then it is carried by two major veins, that is superior vena cava that brings blood from the head, neck and both the upper limbs, and inferior vena cava brings blood from the lower parts of the body. From the right atrium blood goes into the right ventricle. It goes into the right ventricle and this deoxygenated blood is then pumped to the lungs through pulmonary artery, which is the exception I have already told you. After oxygenation in the lungs, the oxygenated blood is pumped back to the left atrium through the pulmonary vein. This is also exception, as it is a vein it should contain deoxygenated blood, but this special case is there in which a vein contains oxygenated blood. Okay, and this blood is carried to the left ventricle. The left ventricle pumps the oxygenated blood to the aorta. Aorta, it is an artery, major artery. This artery then divides in many small arterioles and then in capillaries. What happens in the capillaries, the blood from arteries goes to the capillaries where the nutrients, oxygen and other waste materials are exchanged between the capillaries and tissues. And finally the carbon dioxide rich blood from all over the body is collected by the venules, veins and vena cava, and then it is sent to the lungs. Okay, before lungs it goes to the heart first, then it is sent to the lungs for oxygenation. So this is all about the circulation of blood in the human body. I have already we have already discussed about the how these capillaries help in exchanging oxygen and other oxygen, carbon dioxide and other materials in the blood. Okay, so if you remember that, you will easily get the idea how this blood is circulated in the body. Then here you can see the with the lungs, heart is there, and how this all the circulation of blood takes place. Here you can clearly see this inferior vena cava, then here the superior vena cava, they are coming or they are connecting to the right atrium here, then this is left right ventricle, then blood goes to the lungs from here through the pulmonary arteries. Here the exchange of gases takes place. Okay, then what happens, again this oxygenated blood it is collected and brought to the left atrium, then from left atrium this blood comes to the right ventricle and then it is distributed by the aorta, that is a artery, and this artery then divides and redivides into different arteries, arterioles, and the capillaries. And again in capillaries the exchange of gases takes place, and the deoxygenated blood from all over the body is again carried to the heart. So this is all about the working of heart. Okay, so what is double circulation? Double circulation is a process during which blood passes twice through the heart during one complete cycle, and this type of circulation is found in amphibians, reptiles, and birds and mammals, and it is more prominent in birds and mammals as they have four chambered heart. So in birds and mammals you can see it is more prominent because they have four chambered heart. Now what is heartbeat? We know that heart pumps blood into the body, and to perform this pumping action heart gets contracted and relaxed in a rhythmic way continuously. Rhythmic way means in a particular with a particular time intervals, okay, in a rhythm. And this contraction and relaxation of heart is known as heartbeat. The heartbeat can be heard by a stethoscope. You can see the picture of stethoscope here. And what is the how it works? This stethoscope amplifies the sound of heartbeat. What is pulse? When the blood from the heart rushes into arteries, it creates a throbbing in artery. Throbbing means just like a jerk. Okay, this throbbing is called a pulse. We can feel this throbbing at wrist, then in the throat, and in a temple. Temple is the region behind our ear. Okay, here also you can feel your pulse. This is what doctor feels when they check your pulse. So when doctor checks you, first it checks your pulse. Since the arteries throb with the rush of blood every time the heart contracts, the pulse is same as the heartbeat rate. Means heartbeat rate and the pulse rate both are same, because the blood that is pushed into the arteries, or the arteries throb with a rush of blood every time the heart contracts. Means whenever the heart is contracting, there is a throbbing action in the artery. Okay, that means the pulse rate and the heartbeat rate both are same. Each heartbeat generates a pulse in artery. Every heartbeat generates a pulse in the artery. Then what is rate of heartbeat? The number of times a heart beats in a minute is called the rate of a heartbeat. So beating of heart in 1 minute, okay, it is known as rate of heartbeat. And when we are at rest, means suppose we are not doing anything, we are simply sitting and relaxing, that time the heart beats 72 to 80 times per minute in a minute. But when we do any physical work or exercise or running or cycling, then this rate of heartbeat increases. Also when we get angry, or we are excited, or we are happy, or we have fever, that time also the heartbeat rate increases. Okay, simple animals like hydra and sponges do not have proper circulatory system. They have simple body cavities. Okay, and water enters in body cavity of these animals, and this water brings oxygen and food particles for these animals. And also when it is thrown outside the body cavity, this water takes waste materials and CO2 from the body, and thus this waste material and carbon dioxide is removed from the body. Okay, so here we have finished this topic, that is structure and working of the heart. We will again meet in our next video, and that video will be about the excretion in animals. So keep watching, take care, bye bye.